Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at belisiofoods.com/careers.
Snow all over it, but I was like, what a fun room if you actually if there was a baseball game going on. But it was so neat because we were able to just kind of walk, and there's all those little restaurants down there and around there.
It's got a great revitalization downtown.
Yeah, they've done such a good job. Yes. That was my whole point to that really long and involved story is that it's just a really neat little area down there.
Yeah, I absolutely love Toledo because it's got a small town feel, even though it's a large city. So yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, because I I can send him to the meetings and I can go to the mall or whatever.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
I'm like, this is really fun.
Yeah, that's fun that you got to visit.
Yeah. Love that. I've now been to Toledo.
Yes. I'm 100% for Toledo. I'm a big Toledo lover. My husband went to UT, so we have a connection there too.
Well, how in the heck did you end up in Jackson from there?
Actually, same thing. My husband, he bought a dental practice over in Gallia County.
Okay.
So he bought the old Kiger dental practice, and it's close to both of our families, a little bit more in the center, so we're about 4 hours away from each. So it's as close as you can get to Virginia without leaving Ohio, so he didn't have to change licensure.
Makes sense.
Yes, yeah, so one less headache, but it's a good time over there.
Just that little bridge that makes all the difference.
Yes, absolutely. So
okay, well, welcome to the area.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you here.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you are here to talk about some things going on, the Turkey Trot, the gear grinders, and then you also have opened your own business here in town, which we'll get to in just a minute. But let's talk about the gear grinders in general for just a second. What could you tell us about the gear grinders?
Okay, so it's a 501c3 nonprofit, registered nonprofit here in Jackson County, and they are celebrating their 10th year this year. So
I know, I can't believe this whole thing has gone on this long.
Right.
Like, it's crazy.
Absolutely. Part of the part that I kind of interact with is the Christmas portion. So it's called Shifting Gears for Christmas Cheer. And we are working on our Christmas list so far this year right now. So we've got about 1,000 kids who have applied. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a big undertaking. So, but very much community supported. We've raised plenty of monies just from the help of the community so far.
Okay. And so let's talk about that. How did that whole situation get started? Do you know?
You know, I don't know too much about the original portion, but I know 2023. So yes, in 2023, I know that it got larger a little bit with technology and whatnot. We can start to take online applications, and so that helps to spread awareness and get more people involved. It also helps with social media because individuals can adopt online and everything, and that helps them to be able to take care of a child from Amazon or anything like that. So
okay, so how does that whole situation work? So
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you go through it all.
Yes. So from about September, we started taking applications from individuals who are just in need of Christmas assistance. And so they will just submit their application, and then they say, hey, we need a little extra help this year. And they put all the information down on there, and we kind of go through it. So from there, our checkpoint is just, are they in Jackson County? Are they in Vinton County? And then we can find an angel tag for them. And it just gets printed off on a little label this year. We have a little fun saying that if you grab a tag, you can fill a bag. And you just adhere that. It's adhesive. It's like a mailing label. You stick it right onto the bag, and you're going to bring the bag back to one of the participating businesses that are working with us this year. So, or Iron City Barbell Gym. So they are open 24/7. So we have a lot of drop-offs there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, no limit on
right.
time.
Yes, you can come at 3 a.m. and drop off your gift. So, or pick one up.
So this is a thing where individuals actually go out and shop for a particular family?
Yeah, absolutely. So they shop for a child. So
how fun!
Yes. So you actually get a tag, and it relates right back to a specific child here in local Jackson or Benton County. Yep.
And so how does one? And maybe you answered this, and I'm just like, phew, how does one pick the child or get to? Is that the online, like where you go online?
So
or
you can go online to our Facebook page and say, hey, I would like a tag. Or you can just go to an area business that has their tree up. So some of the trees are already up, like at Jenny Bell's gym, at Iron City Barbell.
Okay, yeah.
They're already up there. And so she does a great job of giving them online too. So you can go to her page and say, hey, I want to sponsor a child.
Okay.
And so grab one that way. Or you can just, visit all of our local businesses. It's all over the place, but they haven't really quite popped up quite yet. Maybe next week, I would say.
Okay.
You would see them a lot. But Faith and Fitness has theirs out. Arch and Eddie's is getting theirs ready and whatnot.
Okay.
So just all over the place, really.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. And then so you can just take a tag off the tree.
You just take the tag and you go shopping for the kid, and you just throw whatever you want to put in that bag together. There will be a wish list. So, for example, it'll say shoe size and clothing size, and then what they like and whatnot. So for the little kids, it can be really specific. It can say, like, I really love Minnie Mouse or something like that. And so you can go shopping for them with that in mind. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to adopt a child, especially if your kids are older or out of the house or whatnot. It can revisit some of those fun memories.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like, someone who does not have kids, I'm
Absolutely.
like,
Yes.
that's like fun. Like, cause Christmas is like, adults is boring. So you can take on a couple of kids and make their day.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great way to show service too, and we have a lot of individuals who say that exact same thing. They want to provide Christmas cheer, and this is a great way that they can feel like they can do that.
Well, listen, it shouldn't be, but being a kid is difficult.
Yes.
There's so much stuff they have to deal with now.
Right.
I think even more so than when we were growing up or whatever. It's
I would
just
agree.
way worse now.
Absolutely.
And way harder. And I can remember almost Christmas, even when I was growing up, being almost like a little competition.
Yes.
Between kids, and to have a kid not have a Christmas or that's
that
like
would
not
be
cool.
really tricky. So yes, and this helps to alleviate that gap, and so
Love
to
that.
bridge that gap and be able to make sure. And even within house, we get donations from different events throughout the year. So for example, Christmas in July, or the car shows that they do every month in May, June, July, etc. We get donations there. And those donations all go to the storehouse, so to speak, and then we can pick from those too. So let's say that a child's gift is somehow, you grab a tag, you get busy, and it flies away, something like that. That child still receives Christmas. We have extra that we will go through and make sure that they have something in their bag.
Wonderful.
So it's a big operation, but it's a lot of fun.
I was going to say, how on earth do you keep track of all of that?
Technology, yeah. So we've got a good...
She's a genius.
I don't know about that, but it's a lot of fun. I like doing it. It's a good logistics break, so to speak.
Sure, absolutely. And, who doesn't like do-gooding, right?
Right, absolutely. So, yeah, I have a lot of fun with that, but I'm not the only one by any means. We have a whole big team of us, and
takes an army.
It does. It takes a big army, and it's a community. It's very community-driven. So last year, we had over 700 children that were provided with gifts, and this year, we're aiming for a little bit more with 1,000. So... and if you did miss the deadline, there is an application still that you can apply for the wait list, so to speak. So after Christmas, if there's enough donations, we go through that and we give calls and say, hey, we've got something. So
very cool.
So there's that. But yes, very community driven. We've got Faith and Fitness involved. Tom Long is the president of Gear Grinders. He's very much involved. All the Gear Grinders guys are wonderful, and they're very much involved. They're families, everybody.
Big old softies.
It's wonderful. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So we have a good time together. They welcomed me pretty quickly, so I'm very grateful for that. I'm a little bit of an out-of-towner, so I always have to ask questions about where's that and what's that, and I don't know what that is, but...
I can't imagine, moving from Toledo to Jackson, Ohio, and being number one, it's like going to a new school. It's terrifying. Yes. You don't know really anybody, but also you don't know how people are going to react.
Right. Yeah, I feel, and I'm not even from a large city, but I feel very city sometimes and whatnot. So it's been fun though. I mean, everyone's very welcoming here, so that's a good thing.
Good.
So.
They better be. If not, I'll go take care of that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
that's great to know.
So Gear Grinders is their main focus on the Christmas thing, or do they do other things throughout the year?
I would say as a charity, yes, the main focus is on the Christmas event, but they do other things throughout the year with the club and whatnot, and showing off all of the beautiful cars. So
yeah, so they do have car shows.
Yes.
They have all kind of fun things.
Right.
And if somebody wanted to join, can they do that?
Yes, you'd contact Tom Long. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
He's not hard to find either.
Nope, he's not hard to find.
Well, very good. So that's kind of like one hat that you have going on. And when I came in this morning, we were going to talk about the Turkey Trot, which is kind of a whole other hat that you wear. So let's talk about that for a moment.
Yes, Turkey Trot. So we're coming up. This Thursday is the last Thursday before Thanksgiving, and the Turkey Trot is on Thanksgiving. So what is that, about 9 days away? Yes.
I can't believe it.
I know. I can't believe it either. It feels like it was January yesterday.
Yeah.
So
I'm starting to panic about parties and parties and decor and all that stuff.
Our tree is up though. So
oh well, tree's up.
So sorry, I did it.
Just go ahead and rub it in. It's fine.
It's not decorated though. It's just up.
Okay.
It's just up.
I don't feel as bad then.
Thank you.
But
sorry about that.
No. I actually have a little helper this year. Thanks, Kyle. You know who you are.
Oh, okay.
I have a Kyle.
You have a
I
Kyle.
have a Kyle, and
That's
Kyle
wonderful.
is going to come and do our trees at the restaurant and tap in the banquet room and stuff. Because
that sounds great.
I am not creative
Sounds like
at
everybody
all.
needs a Kyle then.
I have a Kyle, and I love him so much. So yes. But no, for the Turkey Trot, and what is that? How is what is that for?
So it's for the center. It's for the Jackson Area Family Activities Center.
Wow, you did that really well.
Yes, I've been practicing it. I'm not going to slip up and say the Y, but the former Y.
The former Y.
The former Y. We are now in our phase. It's the Jackson Area Family Activities Center, or we could just say JAFAC. We're still finding our footing as to whether or not to call it the gym, the center, or somebody suggested the J, which I thought was cute.
Yeah. So Pat and was in yesterday talking about, and Mike were in talking about the whole thing in general, and yes, they were like, we don't know what to call it yet.
Yes, so we put up a Facebook poll if anybody wants to jump on there and give us an idea,
or it doesn't
vote
have to
for one of the three. So
one of the three, or throw out your own idea.
Yeah, that could be a good community engagement idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, Yes.
Absolutely. So you're involved in that as well.
I am, yes. So I started there a little bit back as the program director and whatnot. And so my role with the 5K is a little bit more behind the scenes. Like I'm not doing too much with it, but I can happily tell you about it today. We are going to start it off at 8 a.m. It is on November 28th. So on Thanksgiving Day. It's a great stress reliever.
Get your butt up out of bed and do some running.
Yes, absolutely.
Or
Be
walking.
festive. You can walk. You can do it with the whole family, which is something that's really cool about it, is that it's very family oriented. So.
Okay, and this has been going on for quite some time.
So we're in our 8th year.
Okay,
Yes.
I was going to say, I
Yes.
can remember. And then, do you still get a pie?
Yeah, the first 100 get a pie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
I know. I talk to people who are like, I can't believe I got the pie.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to get the pie.
Sure. Yes. So yes, you can get a pie. The first 100 people get a pie. Yeah. So I think, there's a lot of, we already have 100 signups though. So if you want a pie, you're going to have to get a little competitive.
I was going to say, you got to move your butt, man.
Yep. So
No dilly-dallying if you want that pie.
Right. Yep. So the pumpkin pies, I believe they're pumpkin. So don't quote me on that.
I think
but
they are.
I think they are pumpkin. And Clayton Newman, he's doing a lot with the race and everything. So we've got a lot going on. So it's doing well. So
Well,
yes.
very good. So, pumpkin. Are you a pumpkin pie fan?
I am a pumpkin pie, but I like apple pies just a little bit more.
Oh, you do?
So, I
Okay.
do.
Okay. Adrian, do
do.
you like pumpkin pie?
Half and half, maybe.
Is that a C? I couldn't see what you were doing. Okay. Yeah. So.
I've got rainy day hair.
Oh, you are beautiful. You stop it. You stop
I'm
it.
so worried about it.
So, do you eat pumpkin pie with your whipped cream or whipped cream with your pumpkin pie? You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I actually am a Cool Whip person.
Yeah.
But I would say that it's Cool Whip with a little bit of pumpkin pie.
Yeah,
I love the
same.
Cool Whip.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
just give me the Cool Whip thing, and I'll throw a little bit of pumpkin in there, and
Sure.
we're good.
Yeah, that's really good. I saw a cute little
Just
TikTok
once a year, though.
about like these tiny little pumpkin pies that you make out of a big pumpkin pie and turn them into turkeys. So if anybody has extra time, yes, sounds like a good
Okay,
time.
how do we do that?
Well, you just like take a little circle, I don't know, cookie cutter. I'm not a pie person, and then cut it out. And then they had a little tiny one on top and they just put little candy corns around it to turn it into a turkey. It was really cute. So anyhow, maybe if you get the pumpkin pie, you could take your pumpkin pie and make it into a turkey.
Make it into a turkey. Because
So-
who doesn't love turkey pumpkin
Who doesn't
pie?
love turkey pumpkin pie? So that's the Turkey Trot. But it's, again, Thursday, the 28th. Again, start time 8 o'clock. We have pre-registration online. You can go to jafac.org, or you can stop in at the former Y at the Jackson Area Family Activity Center and grab an application, or you can call and they can do it on the phone for you.
Okay, and
Yeah.
then how much to register? Are there T-shirts involved?
Yes.
Like what all
Yes.
do you get?
Okay, so T-shirt deadline was last week. So right now it's kind of first come, first serve after that initial deadline. But we do order extra. So
Okay.
that is a possibility still. And it's $25 to pre-register if you are a member and $30 if you are not.
Okay.
So, yep.
But you get a pumpkin pie out of it.
Yeah.
If you move your rear end.
Potentially, yes.
Yes,
Yes,
potentially.
potentially. But maybe if two people, don't want their pies, you could grab a pie for fun. I don't know.
There you
A
go.
little bit of pie sharing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And sharing is caring.
Yeah, sharing is caring. So there you go. Maybe it can be a play it forward with the pie.
Love that.
Get it forward. But yes. Yeah.
Okay, so Turkey Trot, you can just go online and register. You can stop by.
Online registration is probably a good bet for you because it's quicker. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. The weather's looking pretty good. Unlike today, the weather for next week is looking calm, 50s.
Yeah.
So
Like
lots
this
of...
Thursday is supposed to snow, so.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. Yes. So we are excited about it. It's going to be a great time. The money that we raise from the Turkey Trot and from the sponsors and whatnot, it's not too late to become a sponsor. It won't make the T-shirt deadline, but you would still make the announcement deadline. We are able to use that money moving forward with programming to give it to other children through scholarships in our programs or through maintenance of the building or upkeep or just, putting on programs that anyone can join, that type of thing. So one of our goals with the change to the Jackson Area Family activity center is to make it a little bit more family activities too. There's a lot of recreation involved,
Okay.
but one of the goals is to
Yeah.
do a little bit more non-recreational, perhaps, just more of those larger special events or something that's new, perhaps. So we'll have to see what happens.
You know, and I love that. And I was trying to pry the guys yesterday, but
Okay,
maybe
yeah.
they were kind of aloof about telling me anything.
Oh, well, it's just very new.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's fine. I was trying to get them to tell me something some good
Some
dirt,
like juicy
and they
something.
were like,
Oh, they
"No."
should have texted me before I could have fed them a juicy.
Yeah,
but
they're like, we have a couple of things, but we're not going to tell you yet.
oh, how funny.
I know.
Well, that sounds juicy to me because I don't know what it is.
Oh, very good. But when you
yes.
talk about family events,
Yeah.
do you have in your mind kind of some things that you would like to add?
Well, I mean, I think one of the maybe not necessarily the whole family is there at one time, but something for everybody in a family.
Okay.
And one of the areas that's kind of got a gap right now would be that, right before you hit middle school age, but after you're a little kid. So from 7 to 12.
The tweener
Yes.
age.
So there are some sports and whatnot going on for them, but maybe some, kids' night out type situations, figure out something to do. We've got ideas to do, just hanging out in the gym, perhaps with a theme in mind, like a donut race or something like that. Just something for the littler kids, because sometimes that area gets a little bit overlooked just before they have a lot of homework, but yet they want to do something. They want to be social. They want to, hang
and
out.
going full circle back to the fact that it's really hard being a kid now.
Yes.
That age is so tough because
It
you're
is.
like not a grown up,
Right.
you're not a
Yes.
baby anymore.
Yeah, I've got a
like
7-year-old. It's a tough age. He'll be 8 soon, but yes.
it is. It's like, where do I fit in?
Right. He's got a good voice, but not always sure, he's finding his footing. I like to use that phrase.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a good time. But something like that, we do have activities for them that are recreational, like taekwondo or volleyball and whatnot. That does overlap a little bit with that age.
Sure.
So there's some things going on, but to be able to increase that and to be able to offer more family-centered activities, but some of the main staple things are going to stay around, like the daddy-daughter dance in February and that type of thing. So.
Now that is honestly, I don't know whose idea that was.
I'm not sure either.
But that
Yeah.
thing blew up, and now they have
Yes.
2 nights of it.
Yes, I believe so.
Because
Yes.
there's so many
so many
people,
kids
but
who want to be involved. Yes,
It is literally the cutest thing I've ever
It
seen.
is. It is. It's a good time. So, but a lot of this too is volunteer driven. So, if somebody's out there who wants to volunteer, who they have a great, rapport or knowledge of something, then send us an email. Our email is hello, like HELLO,
Like, hello.
at jafac.org. So, and we can always get people involved because we want it to be community driven as well. And if individuals are, experts in their field, or if they're great at a certain sport and they want to get involved
Sure.
through volunteering, that's a great way to jump in and say, hey, I'm ready. And how can I help? So,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and that's always needed, and that's never going to be turned away.
right. Yeah, absolutely. So, and it'll help, with just making that family activity center full of activities, which is a beautiful center. It's great. It's good to have here in Jackson. So to make it really shine and have a lot of things would be wonderful. So.
Yeah, and every little bit helps with that. And, participating in this Turkey Trot, number
Yes.
one, it's like super fun for the family. And,
Right.
come, your whole family can you can walk it.
Yes,
Bring the dog.
you
Like, who
can.
cares? Like,
Yes.
just strollers,
Right.
whatever.
Yep.
But that's also helping.
Right.
The center.
It is. And it'll help to facilitate more programs. It'll help to facilitate fun. It'll make sure that the maintenance of the building is being kept
Yes.
up and whatnot. So there's a lot of everything is involved there, and just donations too go a long way. So if you want to just donate, you can donate.
Please.
Yes,
Feel
absolutely.
free.
Yeah.
Well, and I, was talking about this with the guys yesterday of, people sometimes, if you're not personally affected by it, you don't
Sure. Yes.
understand,
Right.
or I don't know if that's the right word, but, and, there's been many times where that building has been opened up as a cooling center
Right.
or a warming center
Yes.
for those that don't have anywhere to go.
Right.
And you think about that, and it's like, well, I haven't had to use that facility, but there's many folks that have.
Absolutely.
And it's there for them.
Yes.
And it won't be there for them if people don't support it.
Yeah, absolutely. So all of that can be tunneled into that. And I think that's a great way to look at it too, because, when you think about Thanksgiving and the holiday in general and being grateful and everything like that, it's a great idea to remember all the different uses of a building, because buildings, and the community around them are what make the community shine. So
absolutely. And there's so much cool stuff happening in our community, and we're so proud of it. In being in the restaurant business for a long time, and I think a lot of people don't know, and I've mentioned it here on the show so many times, but people don't understand how many folks travel through our area.
Yeah.
Like a ton. And from you being somebody that didn't grow up here, the one thing that I do feel like I hear a lot is, wow, everyone here's so nice.
Yeah, I would say that too. Yes.
Like, I walked from the hotel and like 5 people said hi to me on the street. I couldn't believe it.
I had to get used to that a little bit, actually, because that was something that I wasn't used to, is just how friendly people are, which is it's great, but also you can't hide. So I was laughing a little bit when I have a bad hair day. I can't hide from it. I usually always run into people and everything. Whereas when you're a huge city, you can hide pretty well.
That is true. And it is funny to try to transition though. You go to Columbus or you go somewhere like that, and you're walking down the street and you're like, oh, my first instinct is to look at someone in the eye and say hi to them. And most of the time when you do that, they run.
They're like, why are you saying hi to me?
Are you going to mug me or what?
So, it's just a little bit of a different culture in that regard. But it's a friendly culture. And my husband's from Virginia, so very much Southern like that down there too.
Sure.
Say hello and everything. But it's good. I really liked it. So.
Well, good.
Yeah.
And my whole point to that big long story was the fact that small communities like this one where people are kind and they care, and for the most part, I mean, we all have our moments.
Sure, everybody's allowed to have their moments. Yes.
Communities like this, that building is something that helps make this community, and it's so needed. Even if you don't personally use it.
Right.
Maybe you have a home gym and maybe you don't play basketball and maybe, but somebody does.
Yeah, somebody does. And there are a lot of kids who do, which is, kind of one of my reasons. I want to see kids have activities. So to me, seeing all those kids running in there all excited about something, even though I don't really know anything about volleyball, it's been fun to watch all the kids because they're excited, they're growing, they're learning, they're finding out new things, and it's going to be a social activity for them, and it'll be something that's one of their core memories. So from that regard, it makes it all worth it, even if it's not directly related to you. So.
Yeah, see, that's just helping our youth grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
And what's not good about sports? Okay, so A, they're having fun.
Yes.
B, they're exercising. They're learning responsibility.
Yep.
They're learning rules.
Yep, time management, coordination, all sorts of things. Yeah.
I mean, all of these things that our kids are learning,
right.
There's no bad side to that.
Right, there's no bad side. So, yeah, it's a good time. And everybody gets to, do teamworking skills and all sorts of things. So, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah.
So there you go. Support the center.
Thank you. Yes.
All right. So speaking of kids having something to do, if you want to just put on another hat for a moment,
right.
Miss Laura here was telling me that we have, in Jackson been really on this kick to revitalize the downtown.
Yes.
And so many people are putting their hard-earned money into fixing up buildings, and then there's no sense in fixing up buildings if you don't have businesses that want to go in them.
Sure.
And different ideas, and also bringing people to the community. We need fun businesses as well.
Yes.
So you actually have started, I think, is probably one of the most original ideas, and or at least I hadn't heard about it. But,
okay. Yeah.
and you started this business called Apple Tots.
I did, yes.
So tell us all about it. While you're here, I want to know everything.
Right. Okay. So Apple Tots, I started Apple Tots. Apple Tots is kind of a funny name. A lot of times people will call it Tater Tots.
Tater Tots.
So if I branch out, it'll be to Idaho first. So that it can,
I love that.
Sense.
That's so funny.
But Apple Tots, so just, Apple City and whatnot. And Tots, because most of my target group is little, but not always. We go all the way up to 12, actually, with our clubs. Our concept is a play studio, which is interesting because even tax purposes, there's not like a code for it. I had to kind of find a few people.
Like, where do I fit in?
Right. And so I'm actually coded as a dance studio, believe it or not.
Okay.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
So from that regard, we do a lot of mommy and me, daddy and me, grandma and me, all sorts of classes like that to involve all of our individuals, like a grown-up taught class. So music, movement, and then open play. Just if you want to pop in and just play for a little bit. It's a great space for toddlers, but siblings are always welcome. We do book clubs and reading clubs, and I guess that's kind of the same thing. But we have a baby book club, and then I know, right? The little babies. It's so cute. And then, of course, we've got reading clubs for our older kids. So I work a lot with Brie Xline, who just opened her own store. So
kind of next door.
Yes, right next door.
Super cool.
Yeah, and so we have all sorts of things going on. But one of the main goals that I wanted to see with the Play Studio is another, I actually started that before my other involvement, but I wanted to see something for kids to do. And especially my own children, coming from Toledo to coming down here, we were just like, oh, what can we do? And I thought, well,
Sure.
Maybe I'll try it. But very community involved as well. I've got a lot of teachers who are from the community who come out and help me out and whatnot. So it's just community involvement. I kind of like to stay behind the scenes a little bit, but
I love that. So in growing up in Toledo or in a bigger city, what would be some of the things that you would do with your kids?
Yeah, well, I actually grew up in Troy, Ohio, but
Okay.
I lived in Toledo for a long time, so I kind of claim it since I came from there more recently. But something that I would do with my kids was a lot of, story time or mommy groups, or we did a lot of play groups up there. Now, some of that was interrupted a little bit by the pandemic, but
Sure.
I still had like this larger community feel of things to do outside of my home, which is something that I really wanted to bring here. Because I
love that.
Yeah, I want moms to feel like they can meet other moms and that type of thing. Because, there can be a lot of stress postpartum, and just being able to know that there's some place that you can go and get a little break. We do have a staff that plays with the kids if mom really does need a break. If she's feeling a little bit overwhelmed, then
That doesn't happen to moms, does it?
not at all, right? But it's a good time. So I really enjoy it. But the classes are where my heart is. I'm an educator. I have my master's degree in education and whatnot. So I've really always loved education. I teach college and all that. We want to talk about another hat, but
We'll get to that one in a minute.
Right. But that's online, and I just want a little class. But it's a lot of fun. I've always loved the idea of just spreading messages through education, whether it be a book club or whatnot, because not everybody plays sports. I was a kid who didn't really play sports, so the book club idea to me just sounded kind of homey. So,
Love that.
Yeah.
And we all fit in somewhere. It's just finding out where that is.
Where that is. Yes.
And you're right. Not all of us can play sports, or not all of us can do this or that. So, finding, and honestly, through reading, you can find a lot of interests.
Yes, absolutely. And it's a good time. Right now we're reading about Thomas Edison. So we're doing a little bit of nonfiction, but we've done fiction. We did Stuart Little. So just that type of thing. It's a good time. So
Very good.
Yep.
And I love your concept of being there. So it's almost like a mom support group, but then the kids can get socialization, be, play, and,
Yes.
and get some of that energy out, especially when it's like this outside.
Right, yeah. And speaking of the pandemic, we've had a lot of individuals who have 2020 babies who want to come in because their kids, didn't really have that.
Sure.
I've got a 2020 baby, and we were inside for, a good amount of time. And so.
And weren't allowed to be around anybody.
Right. So the social development factor there comes too, just trying to get your kids. Now, it can be a little quiet there at times. So sometimes it is just the kid gets a new location to play. But other times there can be other kids there and they get to meet a new friend or get to learn about sharing or something like that. So it's just, one of the things. One thing I hear a lot that I find to be kind of fun is that somebody will say, oh, I'm not sure if I want to go to this class because my kid doesn't sit still. I don't sit still, so it's one of those things, like, it's okay. We welcome everybody at every development level. If they don't sit still, my kids don't sit still either. I don't know how I sat still as a kid, but so it's one of those things, kids, they learn a lot even when they're running around. Even if the music class is going, you'll be surprised how much they learn while they're not sitting still. Kids are meant to move. They're meant to have kinesthetic abilities.
They, yes. I mean, I wish I could bottle their energy.
Yes, absolutely.
Can you remember? I can remember this plain as day, like with a babysitter or whatever, them being like, God, you're energy, and I can just remember having all this energy, and I just wanted to run and do all this stuff. And I can remember the adults at that point saying, I wish I had your energy.
Yes.
And now I understand what they were saying.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. My 4-year-old, his energy level is like no other. If I could just have a 10th of that.
Yeah. Could I just bottle this and sell it on Amazon?
Oh, yeah. That would be a good one. So, it's a good time, but I absolutely love it. So I love working with the community. So that's why
awesome.
I stay so busy.
Obviously, she loves working with communities.
Yes.
So Apple Tots, back to that, and then we'll you can talk about other hats if you like.
Okay.
But Apple Tots, so can someone just walk in with their kids and tell us about the play stuff that you have?
Okay, sure. So a lot of it, I'll start with the second question. A lot of it is Montessori style play. So we've got a lot of wooden toys, a lot of toys that have open play purposes, meaning that they're not close-ended. You can play with it in a lot of different ways. So like a hammering toy, you can use it to push the item through, but you can also use it to push it back the other way, pick it up, sort it, move it around, hammer without the toy, hammer with the knob in it, all sorts of things. So I feel like I need the toy here to explain it. But
no, I get what you're saying.
Yes. But we have a lot of those open-ended toys to do parallel play with. In other words, you can help your child learn speech development as you're talking to them. So if you're saying, hey, good job, that doesn't actually provide any content. It's not bad to say good job, but if you tell them what it is that they're doing that's good, then that's the style of play that we're trying to look towards, communicating alongside the child, doing that parallel talk. I like how you did this. I saw how you did that type of thing, to show the child what different words are, and speech development. It comes a long way. And then they get to, a lot of kids are more imaginative than I am when it comes to playing with toys, and they'll find a new way to play with it that I didn't even anticipate. So that's the style of toys that we have. We also have a gross motor section, which is soft play. Basically, it's commercial foam is basically what it is. But it's shaped into different things. We've got like a mountain, a hill, a slide, that type of thing. And it's all from Safe Space Concepts. So that's a company here in Texas. So here in America, it's American made. And it's just made for sensory play. So a lot of enjoyment there. You would think that when you see it that it's only for toddlers, but I've seen a good amount of 10, 11, 12-year-olds play on this, and they have a good time. The thing is, they want to be with their friends. When you have them all together, they'll play on it. If they're just by themselves, they might get a little bit, this is under my age, but...
This is so much safer than when we were little. And this is a thing. Like, we used to wait until, so where I grew up in the neighborhood, there's a church parking lot across the street. Well, they would come and plow. This is back when we actually had snow.
Yes.
They would come and they would plow all the snow into this ginormous pile.
Right,
and then we would play King of the Hill and throw each other off of it. And how we didn't all die, I'll never know.
No.
So that your idea sounds much better.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of places like this, I would say. in larger cities. So I wouldn't call it completely unique to me or anything like that, but it's a lot of fun. I love doing it.
But you brought it here and it didn't exist. So
that's
thank you.
True. Oh, thank you. I will say it is open. So like if you come during open play, then yes, it is open. And you can find that out just by looking on our Facebook page, or, you can drive down there and whatnot. But I have a website as well. So either of those options online, I'll tell you what our hours are. But generally 10 to 2 on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And then we have similar activities throughout the week that are in random times to kind of hit and miss those. Well, hopefully hit, but some of those, people who are just have different non-traditional hours like me.
Right.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's good. We'll do some nighttime activities. Sometimes we'll be open for the sidewalk market. Sometimes not. It just kind of depends. We are going to be in December for the cookie walk. So it's a great place. We do birthday parties for smaller birthdays. It is a smaller
That's what
space.
I was going to ask you, or birthday parties. That was going to be my next question.
Yes. Yep. We do birthday parties. We have mascots. We've got healers down in Australia. Can't say their name, but they are there. If you check out our Facebook page, you'll be able to see who I'm talking about when it comes
Very
to
good.
somebody blue.
Very cool.
Yeah, so a lot of fun. But we have a good time. I've got a wonderful staff. They make all the programming lots of fun, and it's a good time. But yes, you can just walk right in during open play, and then our movement classes as well, as long as they're not full. Walk-ins are welcome. Things that you can't really walk in for are just what you couldn't walk in for in other organizations, like a book club or something like that. Just sign up online so that we can prepare for that.
Sure.
But everyone's welcome.
Okay.
So yeah, just pre-registration.
And then, very good. And you are located right beside Malway Designs on one side, on Broadway Street.
Yes, on Broadway Street, and then Liberty Lane's on my other side.
Liberty Lane Quilting.
I've got
on the
great
other
neighbors,
side.
and then on the neighbor of her, we've got Ellie Mills Mercantile.
Yes,
which has Brie inside it,
which is new.
Yes, they're new,
and very, very, very cool.
Yes,
they are exactly what downtowns need.
Right. Yes, a lot of vendors, a lot of fun in there. It's a good scene in there. You need to get them in here next.
I know. We do. Absolutely.
Just go down Broadway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Need to. Yeah. We'll do that. And honestly, Liberty Lane.
Yeah.
She's never been in either, and or at least to talk about the quilting. And I think that's a gem that a lot of people don't understand.
She's got a long waiting list.
It's
crazy. Because she's so talented.
Yes.
Yeah, and wonderful. Sweetest girl.
Yes, she is just a doll.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, let's see. So Turkey Trot, back to that. Because really, you came to talk about the Turkey Trot.
I came to talk about the Turkey Trot, which I was kind of laughing about because it's the one that, has the least amount of content. I feel like it's just a few minutes.
That's okay.
But I'm so excited about it. And, it's going to be a great time. It actually goes right by my house. So in the past, we've sat there and watched everybody run. It's festive and fun. It's a great activity for the kids. 12 and under are free.
Oh,
yes. I forgot to mention that earlier. So, yeah, it's a good time.
And it's Thanksgiving morning.
Yes.
Get up before. Listen, get out of the house and give mom time or whomever's cooking time to get out of their hair.
Right. And win them a pie.
Yes. Yes. Run and get a pie, and then somebody doesn't have to
a backup
make it.
pie just in case. Because then what if you didn't win the pie? That could be.
You just have to run faster.
Run faster.
There is no accepting not winning a pie.
Yes, but it's going to be a great time, and it's going to be very much community effort again. So I love that about this community. Everybody comes together all the time to make things happen, and so
Absolutely.
It's going to happen this year. I know maybe some people were thinking, is it going to happen with all the changes that have been made?
Yes.
But we're still going strong. Yeah. So thanks to everyone's support. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And if you can find it in your heart to help out the center, please do so as well.
Yes,
please understand, as I said, even if you don't use it yourself, understand that there are a lot of folks that do.
It's a good community involvement activity for others. Yes, absolutely.
Have Pat teach you to play pickleball.
Yeah, he said he would do it. So,
he will.
He brought it to the town.
It's his fault.
So,
he shouldn't have started
it. Do it. We'll have to hold him to it.
That's right. That's right.
But
Well, Laura, I know you are very, very busy, and we will let you get out of here. And we appreciate you spending your morning with us and talking about some of the hats that you do wear.
Thanks.
And welcome to the community.
Oh, thank you so much. And I will try to, enjoy this rainy weather. But it's been good. It's been good to be here and talk with you and learn a little bit more about everything just by chatting. So, yeah.
So you come back and see us anytime.
Oh, well, okay.
She's like, I don't really want to, but okay.
Next time I'll need to do my hair.
Oh, stop.
I'm so worried about it.
She and I were laughing because she has straight hair and I have this. So mine gets bigger and yours goes
mine gets
down.
Smaller. I didn't spend time doing it, but the rain, man.
I know. It'll get you. It gets you. So.
But anyhow, sorry about that.
Very good. No, you're totally fine. We loved having you here today.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes. So Pete Wilson is here. We do have a message, and then we'll be back on the other side with our good friend Pete and some news.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
Pete's blabbing. Hi, thank you. Well, come on over, Pete. How are you?
I'm doing very good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Okay.
It's been a couple days since we've seen each other, so you have to be full of it today.
Yeah, I could have been full of it yesterday,
Oh,
but
no.
you were full of it.
Yes.
So I'll come right back at you.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Fair.
Well, I tell you what we need to do. We've done this before, but we need to do it again, and by golly, they deserve it. We need to cheer for our cheerleaders. The Jackson High School competition cheerleaders who have done so well in these recent years. And it's not the same girls every year, just like the football teams and the senior class, they graduate and new ones have to come in.
Yep.
Courtney Butcher and Tiffany Fout are the coaches. And this last Sunday, these girls who had already qualified for a national competition in a competition back in October, they went to a statewide competition at Upper Arlington High School that was sponsored this time by the Ohio High School Cheerleaders Coaches Association. That was different than the competition earlier this year.
Okay.
And Courtney had told me earlier in the year this was even a step up for our girls. So there's teams from all over the state there. Jackson is in 5 divisions. They are in Division 3, which is kind of middle. I presume that is based on the size of the school. And they're competing in what is called the game day building category, where basically you do cheers and maneuvers that reflect what you would do in a football game or a basketball game.
To arouse the crowd.
Right, or something like that. Very typical for the cheerleaders, where our girls in Division 3 were first place. And then there is teams from all over the state there.
Yes.
All right? Okay. Later on, they put all the teams together from all the divisions, and Jackson girls were named. The Jackson girls, I need to say girls and boys because we have one boy, Cannon Stifler, on there. It's a very important member of the team. They finished as the overall grand champions among every squad there, including
crazy.
The big schools, the middle schools, the in-between schools. They were the absolute overall champs. As a matter of fact,
wow!
I believe it involved 112 squads altogether. So I mean,
crazy good.
You know how this town would feel like if our football or basketball team won a state championship. That's never been done.
Sure.
Well, these girls have done it at least in this competition, and they have qualified once again for a competition in Florida. That's going to be in February this year. But anyway, we have some coverage here. We have a video, very short video that we'll start off with. And it shows the moment up at Upper Arlington High School. You see all these cheerleaders in the seats on the floor waiting for the announcement. In the middle of that group is our cheerleaders, and you can see how they react when the announcement was made.
Awesome.
Best in the state, by the way. It belongs to Jackson High School.
Okay, and those are the girls posing. Shortly after that, you can see the Upper Arlington logos in the back. And that was the big game day banner they got for being the winner in Division III. But as I said, they also won the overall. They won the overall grand champion. That was the branding. Overall grand champions for all the squads. Every competing squad, Divisions 1 through 5, they rated first. All right, and so, of course, this is a big deal. They get a police escort all the way back into town on Sunday evening from the county line. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office, the patrol, the police department were all out there, brought them into town, went down Main Street, down Broadway.
Love that.
The fire department met them out there at County Road 84. So you had all those emergency responders, law enforcement, fire department leading them into town, all the way back up on the hill to the high school. And we took this picture up there at the high school. And this was pretty late. This is after 9 o'clock. I was up there. A lot of other people were up there too, but this is all the girls posing with the law enforcement officer and the firefighters that helped bring them into town. And I tell you, they did something very special, and they were made to feel very special.
That's so good.
By all the law enforcement people who I'm sure some of them may have been on duty, some of them may have come out just to be able to escort them into town.
Yeah.
We have some initial coverage that has already been posted on our Facebook. We will have coverage in our Wednesday edition of the paper, as well as, of course, online on the website and like that. And, these girls have done something like this before, I admit, but they just keep doing it.
I know.
And this year, this team, this squad, Courtney Butcher, Tiffany Fount, let's give them a lot of credit, the coaches. They only have 4 seniors, 29 girls and boys. That's the biggest squad they've had.
Wow.
Only 4 seniors, and 10 of the new people on the squad are freshmen. So are you thinking that it's just not, you know how you have a lot of talent on a football team or whatever, and you say, hey, it's our year. We've never had so much skill and talent.
No, they just keep on keeping on.
They just keep on keeping on,
Yeah.
right? So you have to feel there's something with the coaches and the system and the tradition.
Yep.
So congratulations to the girls and Cannon Stifler and the co-coaches Tiffany Fount and Courtney Butcher. Jackson is the state champion. And the competition cheerleaders are not the same as the regular cheerleaders, but it's a lot of the same girls.
Sure.
But it's 2 different groups. But grades 9 through 12. And Toria Brown is the cheerleader coach for the junior high group. And they went up there and got 3rd place in their first ever competition.
So good. So proud of them.
Right. So, speaking of things that were not so good, we had a fire late Saturday night in Jackson. It hit property at 301 North High Street in Jackson. That is not too far off the West Main Street intersection.
Okay.
And the Jackson Police Department, the Jackson Fire Department, and later the State Fire Marshal's Office was there. And the State Fire Marshal's Office has posted this sign.
Uh-oh.
They believe that there was arson. There are 3 structures that are on that property. A fairly large garage, which was in the back. This block building, which you're looking at now, which faces High Street, it actually caught fire in the back, but it burned itself out before the firefighters could do it. But there was evidence that there was a fire in the back of the building. And then the garage, I'll fix it. The garage, which Adrian is going to put up now, that was the structure that suffered the heaviest damage. It was totally destroyed. There were some things in the building, which Dave Channel said they couldn't really tell what they were, but whatever the contents were, they destroyed. This property, there was also an unoccupied house on this property, a little bit of a distance away. And it has been condemned by the city or the health department, one or the other. But nobody lives on this property. I cannot find out even who the ownership was, or I haven't been able to find out yet.
Oh.
But the garage was completely destroyed by fire, and there is no utility hookups, no natural gas, no electric service whatsoever, and the block building that caught fire and the garage are about 20 feet apart. So this is all as Dave Channel would say, he's very careful in his pronouncements when I ask him about the cause of the fire.
Sure.
He said that it was very suspicious, but the state fire marshal's office, there it is. You can see,
Oh, my.
you can see how badly that was burned there. But that garage is in back. You would have to kind of walk around to the side of the house in the block building to see that, but that is all part of the same property. The State Fire Marshal's Office is continuing to investigate, and they are offering a reward of up to $5,000. Now, that's at the discretion of the State Fire Marshal. You don't automatically get it just because you give them information. But if your information leads to the identification of the persons or persons who set this fire, and they believe the fire was set, you do qualify for this reward. So that, by the way, occurred at 10:36 p.m. That's when that fire was. That was when the fire alarm went out, and the firefighters were on the scene for nearly 3 hours, more than 3 hours. They left. The last one left at 1:51 a.m.
Man.
So once again, if anybody has any information that they think might be helpful on that, call the Jackson Police Department. They are working with the State Fire Marshal's Office on this. All right, in another bit of news that is not good.
Yeah.
I would like to have reported this sooner, but I didn't have all the details, so I couldn't. But there was a young man from Jackson who grew up in Wellston, graduated from Wellston High School, named Zach Fisher, who was tragically killed in a traffic accident in West Virginia.
Yeah.
It occurred last Wednesday. His funeral was just this past Wednesday in Wellston. He was a 2008 graduate of Wellston High School, and he had been living in Jackson, though, and only 34 years old, and he worked for L&L Excavating and Land Clearing of Oak Hill, and I take it that this company must do some logging work because that's what Zach did. He worked logging jobs, and he was down in Putnam County, West Virginia, near Hurricane, which is about 25 miles from Charleston, when this occurred. But his big rig went off the road, and he was declared dead at the scene. And whenever this happens,
tragic.
we had a lot of social media comments and all, and we just simply posted the obituary, which we received over the weekend. A lot of folks knew the family, and it's just even more tragic than ever, somebody that young. But he and his wife had 8 children.
I saw that.
8 children. So you don't
Oh,
see
my goodness.
those size families anymore. But
Wow.
But anyway, that was unfortunately a bit of very tragic news that we are reluctant to report, but it's our job.
Yeah.
All right, some good news. We'll go back to good news. This just was announced yesterday.
Okay.
But the Vinton County National Bank is going to open their MacArthur Bank building next Monday, November the 25th.
Really?
It is going to be open for business. Now, it's going to be kind of a soft opening, not a lot of hoopla. I mean, you can do anything there that you should if you're a banking customer, but there's not going to be like a ribbon cutting or open house or anything. That's going to come a little later, the open house. But that is a $2.6 million building that's been under construction for more than a year. Randy Evans Construction of Jackson, another local connection to this. That company built the building. It was cleared, passed all the inspections on just this last Monday.
Awesome.
So they're doing all the stuff inside, hooking up the computers, putting down the carpet, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But they expect to be fully operational there for their retail customers next Monday, November 25th. That address is 203 West Main Street, which is about a quarter of a mile down West Main Street, US 50, from its current location, right there at the corner of 93 and 50.
Okay.
That building
That
building will continue to be used, but it will not be used for any customer transactions or anything. Some bank folks will
More
be working in there.
administrative stuff,
But,
yeah.
Right, exactly. But they will at least be keeping the building for now. And it's at the new building is at the location of the former McClure's restaurant. They had to tear that building down to start all over for this building. But we've shown pictures before. We'll show it again next week. But it is a beautiful building. They are planning to do work out any kinks that they have. They're planning to have an open house on Saturday, December the 7th, from 3 to 6 p.m. And the reason they chose that date is when MacArthur in Vinton County does its Christmas in Downtown celebration.
Okay.
All right. So a couple other things we want to report on. This is the week for the Operation Christmas Child National Collection Week. I'm sure you've heard of Operation Christmas Child.
Very much,
They
yes.
do the Christmas shoe boxes that go to the neediest children all around the world.
Yes.
This actually has got a lot of traction here in Jackson County. They have a collection point where you can take your shoebox or even pack a shoebox, I presume, every day this week all the way through next Monday. And that location is the Oak Hill Church of Christ and Christian Union, which is just north of Oak Hill on State Route 93. Rita Edwards is the coordinator there. Gayleen St. Leger Cox doesn't live in Jackson County, but she's our communication contact on that. I think she works out of Sauter County, does a great job getting this information and setting this all up. Just a dear, Gayleen is. But if you want to get involved in the shoe boxes, I don't think it's too late. We've had stories in the paper about how to do that. But for instance, like today, the church is open from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. to get your shoe boxes. And it'll be open from 10 a.m. to 12 on Wednesday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Thursday, Friday 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., Saturday 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., Sunday 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., and then the final day is Monday 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So wonderful
And
project, Operation Christmas Child.
You can actually go online and build your box online as well, pay for it, and then you don't have to, physically do it yourself.
They make it very easy,
Yes.
and there's items that these kids in these third world areas and very impoverished areas, even in more developed countries, these pockets of poverty there. These shoe boxes have items in it that the kids need that they probably would not get otherwise, and there's also Christian messages in there too. So the other thing we want to tell you about, good news, we cannot leave this out, even though I know we're running 1 minute past. How about those Pike Eastern Eagles, the football team? They won over Conotton Valley 29-22 in their regional semifinal game.
That's awesome.
This past weekend. It was on Friday up at Heath High School. I believe that's in Licking County. They will move on to the regional final against, honestly, a Danville team that is favored to beat them. But Pike Eastern has already made a fool of a lot of the other people who have not given them their due respect just because they're a tiny school from southeastern Ohio.
That didn't have a football team not that long ago.
Right. And if you're a Pike Eastern fan or you're just a fan from Jackson County or Vinton County, you want to see a good game, you won't have to travel very far. Logan High School.
Oh, really?
Is where that'll
Okay.
be, 7 p.m. Friday, Danville versus Pike Eastern. And you know what happens if Pike Eastern wins that game? They are in the state championship round where there are 4 teams, semifinals, and then the final.
Wow.
I think that's in Canton.
That's
That's
wild.
the next weekend. And considering how long Pike Eastern's had football, not very long, they were a basketball school. So congratulations to everybody associated with the Pike Eastern Eagles,
That is
carrying the
awesome.
banner of Southeastern Ohio. And there's 2 other Southeastern Ohio teams still involved, and one of them is going to go to the state because somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. Ironton versus Wheelersburg in Division 5. Two of the Titans, they're always there every year, and they will play each other. They just are down the road from each other. They will play at South Point High School also this Friday evening.
Okay.
Winner, as I said, goes to the state.
We'll see.
All right.
Very good. Well, Pete, thank you so much for stopping in and telling us what's going on in the world.
All right. Well, we'll maybe be back tomorrow if we have time.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in today. We'll be right back here tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, the Telegram is your ticket to the latest buzz in town.
Read your daily dose of local headlines, sports, and entertainment and more in hand and on paper.
Get a print and digital subscription for only $7.95 per month. Delivered fresh every Wednesday and Saturday.
Visit thetelegramnews.com or call 740-286-3023 today.
Don't just read the news, be a part of it.